been employed with the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, CBA, for the past 11 years, and today I'm blowing the whistle. We have tried to raise our concerns internally with formal channels such as HR and workplace relations, and our voices are not being heard. CBA prides itself on inclusion and diversity, with a zero tolerance for discrimination and workplace bullying. However, in reality, this is far from the truth. Many staff internally are experiencing discrimination, bullying, abuse of human rights, harassment, abuse of privacy, medical discrimination, exclusion and isolation. This has been caused as a direct result of CBA's mandatory vaccination policy. Many staff will have their employment terminated if they do not undergo a medical procedure and take vaccines against their will. Many of these staff are long-term, loyal employees that have been with the group for 10, 20, and some even 30 years of service.
How can CBA make these vaccines a condition of employment
when there is a chance of a serious adverse effect or death following the vaccination? It is unethical, according to Section 51 of the Constitution.
Mandated or coerced into a medical procedure, including vaccines, are not legal. This makes CBA's mandatory vaccine policy illegal and unconstitutional. CBA are also refusing to accept staff's legitimate vaccine exemptions
and being extremely unreasonable. Staff that work from home full-time and do not need to go into the office will be terminated if they do not undergo a medical procedure. CBA is already causing so much harm to staff,
including their mental health, and if terminated will cause financial stress for many families all over Australia. This is very unreasonable, considering all government vaccine mandates in New South Wales ended on the 15th of December 2021.
CBA is making its own mandatory vaccine policy outside the government mandate. We call on CBA's chairwoman, Catherine Livingstone, and CBA's board to step in and address this unreasonable vaccine policy that is already causing so much harm to staff, and many are afraid to speak out. As CBA is a public listed company trading on the Australian Stock Exchange, it is your legal obligation to ensure CBA is compliant with ESG and corporate governance concerns. This is a major ESG and corporate governance concern for CBA and must be addressed. As the board of the Commonwealth Bank, you have a duty of care to all staff, not just some, and it appears our CEO, Matt Common, and Group Executive Human Resources, Sharon Lewis, has failed us. They have failed its long-term loyal staff,
its customers and shareholders.
Many of our customers and shareholders do not agree with workplace discrimination, bullying, harassment, and abuse of human rights. In fact, many of CBA's shareholders must ensure ethical investments are made in companies with high ESG standards. Our staff are at breaking point, and many feel industrial action and protest at CBA's head office is the only way our voices will be heard.
However, we are directly reaching out in hope you will hear our voices and end this unreasonable, unlawful, mandatory vaccine policy that is already causing so much harm to staff. The board must step in now
and put an end to CBA's tyrannical abuse of power over our human rights.
really specific questions. Maybe I'll try and broaden it a little. What are we doing around the vaccination policy?
Yeah.
Providing an update on our thinking, and we've had a couple of discussions about it.
Sure. So let's start from vaccination policy. We thought long and hard. And I know I've had a lot of feedback saying, well, being vaccinated doesn't stop you catching COVID and doesn't necessarily stop you passing it on. And to that I'd say it's true. But the evidence suggests that actually you do carry a lower viral load, which means you get less sick. You are less likely to pass it on to someone else. And if you are vaccinated, you're also less likely to catch it. So the perspective from a health and safety perspective for people coming into the office is very clear. Having a vaccine makes the environment safer than not taking a vaccine, which is where we started with the policy. We've been working through with large numbers of you in terms of exemptions. We've extended our exemptions so they're not just the ATAGI medical exemptions. We are looking at things like, expectant mothers, people with family history that they feel very afeared of taking the vaccination, and we'll continue to do that. We've also held off on people who wanted to take the Novavax vaccination rather than the initial vaccines that were in Australia. And I'm pleased to say that Novavax is now available in our corporate vaccination program. So if you want to visit Commonwealth Bank Place or the Foundry to get your Novavax vaccination, you can. So we will be looking to support that policy as we return to work with all the care and respect you'd expect. But I would also point out to those who don't want to be vaccinated and feel that the policy is discriminatory. Discrimination is a strong word, and let me clearly define it. We discriminate if something inherent in an individual we discriminate against. A vaccine to help the health and safety of the organisation is a reasonable management request. And we will continue to be asking you to be vaccinated in order to help protect our people. And it's worth pointing out that as many people in the survey said they wouldn't return to work if we didn't enforce the vaccine policy, who said they didn't want to get vaccinated and didn't want the vaccine policy to go in. So it's a really difficult thing. Matt and the ELT and I take advice constantly from the medical community as it evolves, and we will keep monitoring it over time. Our only aim is to keep our people as safe as we possibly can as we transition through this difficult period.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Sian. Next question.